After a 15-year wait, a sequel is being announced. Will Smith is set to return, and fans are overjoyed. Let's find out what's all the fuss about. I Am Legend, starring Will Smith, in a nearly empty post-apocalyptic New York City filled with zombies, had a $77.2 million domestic opening and went on to gross $256.4 million domestically and $585.4 million globally. Although the 2007 box office sensation I Am Legend by Will Smith had a polarizing conclusion, there's an alternate ending that more accurately reflects the book. I Am Legend, published in 1954 by acclaimed author Richard Matheson, is one of the most highly regarded works of apocalyptic fiction to date. As a result, it's not surprising that the book has been adjusted for the big screen 3 times. 10 years after I Am Legend's release in 1964, the first adaptation was released. In the movie The Last Man on Earth, horror icon Vincent Price played the lead role, though Mega Man, the second adaptation, starred Charlton Heston in 1971. In 2007, Will Smith starred in I Am Legend, the most well-received and financially successful Matheson adaptation to date. The theatrical version of I Am Legend's ending shows Will Smith's character holed up in his lab while looking for treatment for the mutants that resemble vampires. The creatures storm his house as soon as he finds a remedy for their plight, and he can see them waiting for him on the other side of some sturdy glass that keeps them out. In the end, Robert Neville sacrifices himself and kills several of the creatures in an explosion, giving his fellow survivors Anna and Ethan the opportunity to escape while carrying a sample of his new treatment.
There are other survivors. I'm traveling with Dr. Robert Neville and a boy named Ethan.
Following rumors of an uncontaminated colony, Anna and Ethan find safety in Vermont, receive the cure, and leave with the illusion that humanity has been saved. This keeps the adaptation of Neville taking his own life, but ignores the novel's original motivations for doing so because he is unaware that he's accidentally turned into the world's villain. Although the I Am Legend alternate ending would have given the story a more satisfying conclusion, it wouldn't leave the door open for a sequel in which humanity is saved. Warner Brothers was actively working on I Am Legend 2, according to reports on March 4, 2022. The fact that screenwriter Akiva Goldsman is back to write the script is encouraging news for fans of the original I Am Legend. No directing contract has yet been signed, so it's unclear at this time if Francis Lawrence will return as well. Warner Brothers has not yet provided any information regarding the start date or potential release date of I Am Legend 2, or even the length of its production. To be sure, it'll be a big-budget blockbuster, which means that filming will take a while and that the special effects work will take even longer. A theatrical release earlier than 2025 does seem doubtful, even if I Am Legend 2 starts shooting before the end of 2022. I Am Legend 2 will see Will Smith return as Dr. Robert Neville, and in what can only be called a casting coup, he'll be joined by Michael B. Jordan, who's best known for his role as Creed in the Creed movie series. It's currently unknown what part Jordan will play. Although no additional cast members have been revealed so far, it would make sense for Alice Braga and Charlie Tahan's still living I Am Legend characters, Anna and Ethan, to return. Before we proceed, we wanted to remind you that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Will Smith reportedly turned down several pitches for I Am Legend sequels until Michael B. Jordan made one. Jordan, who will co-star in the movie with Smith, contributed to the success of the films Black Panther and Creed. Even the original film screenwriter, Akiva Goldsman, will be involved in the sequel. One of the film's producers claimed that Jordan's concept for the sequel movie is so unbelievably cool that they simply had to bring this universe back to the screen. The fact that I Am Legend 2 has an unbelievably cool premise suggests that the sequel will do more than simply retcon the original ending. Both the original book and the movie's alternate ending contain hints about where the I Am Legend sequel will pick up. Though it's a bit one-sided, the movie's main theatrical ending is quite moving. Neville notices the shape of a butterfly in the crumbling wall between him and the engaged mutants, after finding the virus's cure and creating a plan for its fellow citizens to escape the mutants smashing down the glass door to his lab. Neville's late young daughter was always pointing out butterflies, so Neville sees this as a sign that the end is near. After the mother and daughter escape with a cure, he plows himself into the glass and blows up a grenade, and this appears to be the end of the story. The tricky part comes at this moment. In both the book and the movie, Neville learns from his research on the mutants that despite his efforts to exterminate all non-infected people, they have their own structured society with established norms and relationships. He's nevertheless too disgusted by them to care because they pose a threat to the survival of anything resembling what he once referred to as humanity. In the original text, the same title novel by Richard Matheson, the word legend refers more to Neville's cruel treatment of the mutants than to any other aspect of the story. This includes the intention to eliminate them in any way possible, as well as grotesque experiments. It has made him an outsider, as opposed to the movie's prediction that his ultimate cure for their disease will make him an icon. Because the mutants are now the dominant species, and Neville has emphatically turned himself into their mortal enemy, he'll become a symbol of violence and annihilation to their people, according to the book. Following this epiphany, Neville accepts that he will perish at the hands of the mutants and passes away with no further desire to exterminate the mutants, only himself. In the meantime, Will Smith's film offered an alternate conclusion to satisfy novelists who were offended by the movie's portrayal of Neville as a self-sacrificing hero. In this alternative ending, Neville experienced the same moments of clarity without dying. He's abandoned to live a life of cruelty and regret. So in conclusion, there are 3 possible outcomes to the original movie that will impact the sequel: Neville's death and legacy as the legend who cured the mutants virus, Neville's death and legacy as the monster who tried to exterminate the mutants simply because they were different from him, and Neville's survival and lifelong guilt for having tried to exterminate the mutants simply because they were different from him. There are numerous possibilities and approaches to bending the reality of the first film's ending to suit a spectacularly fantastic sequel, which appears to be unavoidable. In reality, we'll probably witness a mixture of all these conclusions that will, hopefully, completely astound us. However, this isn't the only concern that I Am Legend 2 brings up. It's unclear how Will Smith will appear in the movie if it takes place in a world where Robert Neville, who played Will Smith in the first movie, didn't survive the events of the first one. Smith is a co-star and one of the executive producers, so he won't leave the project. This leaves the obvious possibility of Dr. Neville appearing in flashbacks. If that's the case, Robert Neville will undoubtedly be restored to his pre-apocalyptic appearance using digital rejuvenation techniques. After all, bringing Neville back as a retcon would separate I Am Legend 2 from the original film, shifting its genre from survivalist to one in which monsters and humans presumably coexist. And because of that, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. As a result, I Am Legend 2 should be praised for attempting something more ambitious than simply using the movie's alternate ending to retcon I Am Legend. However, changing a cinematic ending 15 years after the fact is already quite a drastic step. Culturally speaking, the follow-up movie will probably capitalize on the gap between 2 societies that actively seek to destroy one another because they're unable to cooperate and get along with one another. See you in the next video.